It's the Wait a Minute show.
Indeed.
Bruh. Ain't that right, Lopan? Wait a minute. Book it. Really? Really?
The Wait a Minute Show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, and I am back in the building once again to talk about the week in sports and get into the future as well. So welcome to the show. I got my man Lopan here with me.
Indeed.
So Lopan is ready to go to talk about sports. He's all pumped up. I'm pumped up. Hopefully you're pumped up as well, as we are dwindling down the days of the NBA season. So we'll get into that NBA Finals talk in just a moment. But my Pistons showing the bag to the coach. We got some other coaching news. We'll talk about Frank Vogel. We'll get into Joe Mazzulla. And hey, Super Bowl, it happened that fast. The draft, it happened that fast. We're going to be getting close to training camp pretty soon, so we got to talk about some football news, so we'll get into some NFL talk as well. And I'm debating, Lopan. I got it on, I have it. It's right here like I'm looking at it, Lopan.
Indeed.
Yes, I'm looking at it. I think I may do a Big L award.
Indeed.
Yeah, I know. You're always down with the Big L award because you just love talking about people, but
Indeed.
just rude, man. You're just rude. But yeah, it might be a Big L award at the end, depending on how this thing goes, on here. But before we get into game one of the NBA Finals, make sure like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and share these episodes that you're seeing on here, man, so everybody else can get in on the fun and talk and hit up your boy in the comment section and everything. So without further ado, let's get into it. Game one of the NBA Finals. Denver Nuggets took game one, I think it was 104-93. Up in Denver this past Thursday. I was not surprised by that. My pick before the series started, I said Denver would win this. I got it in 6. On this, and I know some people are being disrespectful out there saying, that the Nuggets are going to sweep, the Heat. And it's not that. But this game that went down Thursday, I think it was a few factors that played into it. Now, Miami's not going to make any excuses. That's not the team that they are or the culture that they provide there. Pat Riley, Zoe Mourner, Eric Spoelstra, all that stuff. Nobody makes excuses. It's hey, we go in with the intentions of win. If we don't, we don't. And they did not win. So I think a few things that did play a factor in it. And I thought this was going to be for either if Boston had came out of that game 7. Anyway, just that series alone, and then going into seeing Denver, to me, I felt it played a factor and it helped out. And nothing wrong with that, of having an advantage. That's why Denver, took care of business early so they could get the rest that they, probably wanted or needed to be fresh for this game. So I think a little bit of that, played into it. But I think more than anything, because there was a lot, a couple things. The free throw, balance, or the discrepancy between it, where Miami only went to the line, twice. Some of that, though, did play into three-point shooting. They shot 39 shots from 3-point, hit 13. So they shot 33% or around 33% from 3-point line. And so that means you missed over 20 3-point shots. And not all of those are going to be contested. Some of those, half courts and everything. But I think the 3-point game, hurt them. The free throw disparity, hurt them. Nikola Jokic, let me be respectful. Jokic and Murray, they were on their game. And I think, I know pretty much every time that Miami did go on a run to try and get back in this, Denver was able to answer that. It was a 17-point lead, and Miami had got within 8. And then all of a sudden, Denver answers that. Same thing. Miami goes on a run again. Denver answers that. So they were able to answer the call when Miami would go on a run as well and try and get close and get under into single digits, with the lead. The first half hurt Miami, right? They scored 20 points in the first quarter, 22 in the second. So that was a battling, uphill climb, for them. So I just think after this game, and Denver did what they were supposed to do. You're supposed to win at home. Denver has, this is the reason they got home court advantage through this thing. They handle business during the regular season to be in this situation. So you got to give credit where credit is due, with that. So I'm not surprised that they took game one. Like I said, I think this thing is going, 6 games. Sunday, we're going to have game 2. It's going to be a closer game. I firmly believe that. I think it's going to be a tighter game. I still do think Denver will win both at home, and then Miami will go home and win as well. So this, me, I always want 7 games.
Indeed.
Yeah, little pan. We always want 7 games because, ain't no more basketball after that. As far as like on the men's side, NBA, after that. But there will be necessary adjustments. And if Miami can hit those shots, now that whole game would have been really different if Miami could have hit shots from 3-point. Duncan Robinson, Strus, Jimmy don't shoot that much, but Vincent, Caleb Martin, if those shots can go, then we got a really interesting series on our hand. But Miami's going to bounce back. Right? They're too mentally tough not to. So I'm expecting a good game come Sunday watching this. But game 1 obviously was it played out how I thought. Not with the shooting and not with the free throws, but it played out that I thought Denver would be able to handle everything that Miami would put out there. So speaking of handling, in Detroit, Monty Williams is going to have someone help him handle the bag, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed.
No, not you, Lopan. Not you. I don't even trust you with my money. So he definitely not going to trust you. But the Detroit Pistons, my Detroit Pistons, signed Monty Williams or hired Monty Williams to be their head coach going into the season. Actually, a 6-year deal, $78.5 million, and they're saying with incentives this thing could get up to 100 mil. Now, I don't really look into that incentive stuff, but the main thing I look into is 6 years. Right now Monty Williams becomes the highest paid coach in the NBA right now. So the expectations. Now I'm gonna speak right now as a Piston fan. Right. We need to be in the finals next year.
Indeed.
Yeah, Lopan. Lopan doesn't really believe that.
Indeed.
I know. But that's the expectation. Not saying that would actually happen because they got some stuff that they work on. But you bring in Monty. You paid him the money. The reports were he turned down the first offer, and then he accepted the second offer. So I don't even know what the first offer is. Now, myself, I'm just saying a little part of me thinks maybe Monty was like looking at, Milwaukee or Philly, something like that. And then those spots got filled, and he was like, you know what? I'll go back. All right, Detroit. All right, I'll take the money. Right? A little bit of me, on that. But we get a coach who's had success at every stop that he's been in. We get a coach who has been to the NBA Finals, and he's going to inherit a very young team. They got the number 5 overall pick. So I like where the Pistons are. The big thing is keeping the team intact, making sure these draft picks that you just drafted in the past 2 years, like Cade Cunningham and Duran and Ivy and, all the other pieces that they're adding to it and will add, to this team, plays out. But you can't be I'm going to take off the Piston hat right now and go back to being JB. You cannot sign a deal like that and not have any expectations of immediate success, right? They're not giving you that money to say, hey, maybe by year 5 we'll figure. No, 2 years. There's got to be a significant enhancement with the Detroit Pistons. Like I said, they got some young talent. Maybe, maybe Monty can get, out of them what we need or what they need, out of that young core. Experience is going to be, the biggest thing, but they're going to have to play ball together. So it's going to be interesting in Detroit because, there's going to be eyes, on him. So I'm hoping that he can turn it around and increase these wins because it's tough out here being a Piston fan, but it is what it is. Somebody else got, a deal. Frank Vogel actually filled in the Phoenix job. He just recently was hired there. What was the deal, Lopan? 5-year, $31 million for Frank Vogel. So obviously, a dramatic difference from Monty's. But you get another guy, again, a guy who's been to the NBA Finals, actually won the NBA Finals. This is an interesting hire, with Frank Vogel, because I really thought there was just going to be a carousel and Doc would end up somewhere, in there, which is, I think Toronto might still have an opening there. So, that still could happen. But with Frank Vogel, let me say this. He is, I don't ever or have ever heard or seen, a player speak bad of Frank Vogel. So he's respected in the NBA. Again, he won a championship. Not everybody can do that. You still got to go out there and coach. I don't care. It was above the bubble. I don't care. He had LeBron James because you need those pieces, on it. So he's going to have KD. Which is going to help out. We don't know what, the whole Chris Paul situation will look like, but this is KD and Devin Booker that he's going to inherit. So he's inheriting 2 quality players. DeAndre Ayton, I assume he will still be there. They're not going to, trade him, but maybe this is, what it was, that maybe Monty's voice got old there. They weren't, really on the same page. You get a guy in Frank Vogel where players love him. And you get some difference, different results, out of the mix. So I don't have anything negative or critical. I'm not going to say anything negative anyway, but I don't have anything critical, of this hire. Yes, there's always other coaches, if you want to throw out there and say, oh, you could have hired. Yeah, there's always other coaches. On it, and I'll say this, the one thing that I'm tired of is, and I'm totally going off the script right now.
Indeed.
Be quiet, Lopan. Is stop talking about Mark Jackson. Okay. Stop mentioning Mark Jackson because I'm still baffled as to how Mark Jackson hasn't gotten another, and maybe he's turned down some stuff. Well, we'll find out later, like we did about Russell Wilson. And if you don't know, go look that up. But maybe, maybe he turned down some stuff and he was just like, nah, that's not the right spot. But I'm tired of hearing about how Mark Jackson is considered, but then it's like, I don't ever hear nothing about no interview. I don't ever hear nothing, like Mark Jackson should be a coach somewhere. But I enjoy him calling the games, man. So I'm going to be a little bit selfish and say, Mark, stay in that booth. Boy, it is so entertaining when he's in there with him and Jeff Van Gundy going back and forth. So I digress. Let me get off of that and move on. I'm sorry. But Monty, Frank, good luck. Monty, we need it. We need it in Detroit, man. Make it happen. Make it happen, Captain. Something else that happened, and it wasn't with coaches. We're going to go to general manager. At Golden State, Bob Myers stepped away from the Golden State Warriors. He is no longer the general manager there. So Golden State will be looking, at a replacement at this point. But now it opens the question of what people are asking or talking about. I've heard people say, well, that whole salary cap thing is coming. And it's going to put a bind on guys that he can get. Steph and them is, getting older. And so he don't want to be around for that. I've heard people say anything. More than anything, though, with Bob Myers leaving, though, is this the sign of a possible reconstruction. I don't want to say, rebuild. Is this a possible get it out, reconstruction, of the Golden State Warriors? And does this signal possibly that the window is closing for the Golden State Warriors? And I would even say this past year, the window is closing on it, because Steph, Clay, Draymond, all of them, they're older. Draymond got gray in his beard now. So they're getting older anyway. So that window was getting smaller with it. But what are they going to be able to do going forward? Now, here's the thing. You did a really good job on getting your talent. You got Steph, which is a guy they drafted. They got Clay, which is a guy that they drafted. No one knew Draymond would be, what he turned out to be, because Draymond would have went in the first round, if everybody had known that. But they got Draymond. And you made, really good deals to bring in a guy like Wiggins. They done brung in a veteran presence like Iguodala. You seem that, the Wiseman thing, I guess it just didn't work out because they made that trade. But then you got Kuminga and Moody and you got why am I drawing a blank right now? My man that play in the center, he looked like he always tired, but he's not. I remember it here down the road. But you still have some pieces there. You're gonna have to be able to continue that. Can they continue that? I can't say yes, because there is something to be said about a general manager that has that type of vision, or that type of plan, or that type of influence for a team that helps out. This isn't, you do luck up sometimes, but this isn't always, something where you just roll of the dice. Hey, it just happened to land on 7. No, there's strategies and everything that's put in place. So Bob Myers is going to be missed, from this organization. Now, does the Golden State Warriors have someone that was coming, up and coming that can replace him, or maybe someone from another organization that can come in? Yeah, that's possible. But I think it's going to, be hard, because the talent level that they have, they are getting older, but also that the teams are getting better. We saw how good Sacramento was. That went 7 games. We looking at right now, Denver. That seems to be, a team that we're going to be talking about for, a few years. We're still going to have to talk about Phoenix, depending on what happens with the Lakers and keeping Reeves and all that stuff, or if they can keep Reeves and Hachimura. Like there's a bunch of other teams, that's going to be in the mix that Golden State is going to be battling. So yes, I do think the window is closing. You're going to have, and that's the tough part, because when you're good, you don't get a chance to draft Steph. You don't get a chance to draft Clay. You don't get that opportunity to do that when you're really good. So it's hard to, kind of keep that window open when you're doing that. So, and it's going to bother me that I cannot remember this guy's name. So bear with me. No, you know what, Lopan? You find it, because you're the one that's supposed to be working.
Indeed.
Thank you. So you find it. Tell me what the name is, and then we'll go from there. All right. So we'll put Lopan to work, on it. What else we got? Packers. Let's talk about. Oh, and shouts out to my man Dero, who's up in the building in the chat room. Let's talk about the Green Bay Packers, right? And yeah, it's a little tough for me to talk about them being a Lions fan, right? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take my Lions fandom off and be honest here. Aaron Rodgers is gone. Jordan Love is taking over. Are the Packers rebuilding? Are the Packers really rebuilding? And my answer is no. No, not at all. Because they still have everything else in place. You still have your running back core. You still have your young wide receivers that you're trying to develop. You still have this defense, this young defense that you're trying to develop. Now, I will say the veteran leadership and the experience and everything, yes, with Aaron Rodgers leaving, you do lose that. But they got a guy that he's mobile. They got a guy, he's got a pretty good arm. Big guy, 6'4", 219. So it's not like he's, 5'10" or anything like that. Not that that's bad or anything like that. But you got a big quarterback with a big arm that's mobile, and you draft him in the first round. So you believe, something. And I'll say this, the history, these guys have been rolling the dice and have been getting lucky. They went and found Brett Favre, and then they went behind that and got Aaron Rodgers. So who's to say, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Jordan Love is a Hall of Famer, but who's to say that Jordan Love isn't a guy that could come in right away? And remember, Jordan Love is coming in, 3 or 4 years now into the league. So he's not coming straight from college. He's had NFL reps. He's had the NFL experience. He's had, I'm sure in the meetings, he's being grilled. He's being groomed to take over. Now this just comes to the point of, can Jordan Love play in the NFL? And that's the question for every quarterback when they step on that field. You'll never know until they step on that field. So, but as far as like rebuilding, no, they've been, retooling or rebuilding or whatever it was. And I told you, I said Aaron Rodgers was the mask, for some of that stuff when they were doing that. So they've already been doing that. Your wide receivers that you got there, they're going to be young, but you got a lot of talent, and now you got guys, because Alan Lazard is gone, Randall Cobb is gone. So to me, you still do need a veteran wide receiver, in that group if they don't have it already. But you got guys now, it's just like, hey, I got an opportunity. I got a big opportunity, and I can take advantage of it. And Kevin, I keep calling him Kevin Love. And Jordan Love, to me, I think he'll step in. I talked about, I said I could see them winning, 8 games this year, because there's going to be some bumps in the road. But the NFC North is better. Detroit is better. They have expectations. Minnesota, they're going to still have expectations like they had before. And Chicago, albeit that they didn't do too well, during the regular season, I think it still was a learning process for Justin Fields. So they're going to be, in the mix. So I think the NFC North will be up for grabs. I don't think it's just locked in that one team is going to take this division. You do have your favorites, of course, and Green Bay is be right there in the mix. So again, 8 games. There's a couple that could fall their way or fall into their lap, and then they fall into 10 wins. So no, it's not. They're not rebuilding. If you ask me, I'm not gonna say that. And thank you, Lopan, for giving me the name Kevon Looney. That was the Golden State Warrior player I was trying to remember, and I didn't even mention Jordan Poole, being on that team. But Kevon Looney, that's who I was trying to reference. But yeah, Green Bay, they'll still be relevant. So Brett Favre left, Aaron Rodgers took over, worked out okay, for him. Not saying that Jordan Love is a Hall of Fame or anything like that. I'm just saying it worked out for him okay. So no, it's not a rebuild. Let's move on. Last thing we'll get into, we'll go back to basketball and coaching once again. But this is a little bit different. This is about Joe Mazzulla, right? So Boston lose that series to Miami, and this more was when they were down 0-3, right? And people were calling for all this stuff about Joe Mazzulla. Is he safe? He's going to get fired and all this. They make this run. Game 7 don't work out, obviously like they wanted it to work out. And now Brad Stevens came out and said Joe is safe. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be our coach, and all this. And I'm like, I don't know where these reports or these thoughts were coming from that Joe Mazzulla was in trouble. This was Boston guy. He was with the franchise before, so it wasn't like they got him from somewhere else. He's been there with the franchise for a while now. They finished with the second best record in the Eastern Conference. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yes, they were down 0-3, but they made a heck of a run to get back in that thing. And it's Game 7. And look, Joe Mazzulla, there's some stuff that happened on the court that Joe Mazzulla can't control. There's nothing he can tell players that they do that caused them to, lose a game and everything. And it's the first year. He's a rookie head coach. He was going up against Eric Spoelstra, okay? Eric Spoelstra is now in his, 6th or 7th NBA final? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. 7, whatever. But he went up against a great coach as well. So let's not discount that. Joe Mazzulla did an excellent job this season. The season did not pan out the way that they wanted. It didn't end it the way that they wanted, but everything that has been done, everybody was singing Joe Mazzulla's praises. Everybody was saying, oh, he kept the ship right and everything. And it's just like, as soon as a little bit of something goes bad, all these questions are going to come out. So no, it's not, I never for 1 second thought that he was in trouble. Now, of course, the expectation is still, you got to get back to the NBA Finals next year. And he knows that. And everybody knows that. So now it's, can you, find what could be corrected and make those corrections. You got a lot of other stuff that's going to be a challenge too, because they're not going to be able to keep everybody that's on that roster as well. So I didn't get the whole Joe Mazzulla question marks or thinking that his job was in jeopardy or anything like that.
Indeed.
Right, Lopan? No, not one bit. So I've been debating this. I'm going to go ahead and do it, man. Lopan talked me into it. So it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the Big L Award, where we hand out an award for someone doing something loserish or, just questionable, or just like, why, right? And it goes to anybody and everybody. You hear me talk about this all the time. I think I've been on the Big L Award maybe 4 or 5 times.
Indeed.
No need to endorse that, Lopan. But it is what it is. So we just got to do it. And here it is, the Big L Award.
And you are one pathetic loser.
Let's go.
We're gonna see the best collection of losers this park's seen for many a year.
You made me feel like a loser.
La loser.
Le who? The her.
Yeah. So I'm going to get to it really quick, right? And it's not necessarily a loserish, but it's just like, come on. And I really hope, I'm really hoping that this was just, because social media and the internet, they like to mess with us and give us stuff and let us run with it. But this story was out about this gentleman who's been working at Burger King quite a while, 27 years, right? And I guess he's getting ready to retire or something like that. And they decide to give him a goodie bag. I don't know if this is, from Burger King or not, but somebody gave this man a goodie bag, right? Yeah, I'm going to say that again. They gave him a goodie bag, and the goodie bag had some Reese's in there. And I assume his favorite probably candy or something like that is Reese's. Some Lifesavers, some pens, lanyards, and all this stuff. Basically, the standard, hey, we got this in the closet. Let's put all this stuff in a bag and give it to someone, right? So again, I'm hoping that this is a joke. I'm really hoping this is a joke, but the brother has worked there for 27 years and he haven't missed a day of work and everything, which is congratulations to him. But I'm hoping that this is not his gift for 27 years, right? 27 years. You completed 1 year. Because think about it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure there has been some wild things that has happened at Burger King. And I'm not talking about the bathroom, okay? Digital Underground for my people that don't know what I'm talking about. So there's been some wild things I'm sure this man has been through and for 27 years. And a goodie bag is what you're gonna give him with some lanyards in it? What is this man gonna do with some lanyards? So they did go out there. I guess they put out, some type of maybe a GoFundMe and everything, and they raised some money for the guy. So that's a good thing. But he was not having it his way with that gift that they gave him. Lanyards, pins, lifesavers, and Reese's Pieces. No. Lopez said we can't have that. So he's absolutely right. So for giving that man a goodie bag for 27 years working in one place, you got to take this big L. I say, Lopez, working somewhere for 27 years and giving them a goodie bag, you got to take this big L.
See? Another loser.
Indeed.
Why do I even bring this guy on the show? Goodness. So there you go. Lopez talked me into it.
Indeed.
Yes, he talked me into it. 2 goodie bags, maybe. Don't give me no burgers. I don't want no onion rings. Maybe those Hershey Sunday pies. They've been good, but all right, I'm done. I'm off of it. But I'm hoping the money that they raise for him is true. So if they raise money for him, man, that's awesome. That's awesome work out there, man. And speaking of awesome, man, y'all are awesome as well, man, for tuning in, hanging out with your boy, man. But you're also awesome just for being you, being the person that you are. So remember, man, I'm gonna leave y'all with a message, man. Check yourself and check others. And what I mean by that is check on yourself, make sure you're all right, but then check on others and make sure they all right as well. Because it's a crazy world that we living in right now out there, man. And a lot of stuff is going on, man. And people are going through a lot of stuff. So check on yourself and then check on somebody else, man. So I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. So for your man, Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, I'm going to get out of here. 2 things as always. Stay positive and push forward. Low man, let's go.